Okay. Decided to make this whole thing, so I go over everything with you. Now, I put your original motor in there just to let you know everything that I know, even though we both know it's not usable, and I'll even go over why. Now, I finally looked at firing order. It's cylinder 6 that both these engines destroyed, and then it was cylinder 5 that moved over and seized yours up. But whatever was going on with that cylinder 6, it did also take out a chunk of the cylinder wall in your old motor, so everything about your old motor is not usable. The crank is destroyed, the block is destroyed, can't be rebuilt, nothing. It's just junk no matter how we slice it. H2 motor. I don't know, I haven't taken it apart yet. I am still going to take it apart. That's not going to cost you anything. I'm going to do it even just because I want to see it. But that's how we'll know if we just have a broken piston, or I'm even thinking that there's a good possibility that what happened was that the wall probably stopped it. So chances are I'm going to find it's destroyed too. But again, I still don't know. I couldn't really see anything from looking up the bottom. The cylinder wall didn't look messed up from what I could see there. So I'm going to take that head off and see. If that cylinder is good, this is, like, if that block is still truly good, this is what I could do there. I would have to get one new head gasket, one new set of head bolts, and then later would be 500, be looking at total 640. I will also say that could still be iffy, because it has had all that metal moving through it, and that's never good for anything. I finally got your cam completely out of your motor. It even had a damaged bearing from all the metal moving around. That H2 motor could be in the same spot, and I don't know. So you would, even if I find those cylinders are good, you could be taking a gamble there. I want you to know that, since you've already spent so much, everybody's already been through so much headache. I don't want to put you through anymore. But that is a possibility if when I get that one cylinder head off, I find out tonight it's not destroyed. 640 to try to rebuild the H2 motor. Now, to move on to the 5.3. First off, this is something I'm so thankful to finally find. You'll notice I mentioned there that extra fuel line. Turns out that is not actually a concern. It only means I have to use your fuel rail. Basically, 2003 and older had return fuel systems. One line feeds to that, and then one line returns to the tank if there's excess. And then in 2004, they came out with returnless. It won't affect the motor in any way, so I just have to use your original fuel rail, since your fuel system, your gas tank, your return fuel system, all that's not getting changed, but it will not affect the motor whatsoever, so I don't have to, nothing has to be altered. I just got to put your fuel rail on that 5.3. Now, the 5.3 is rarely, if ever, bolted to a 480. I think they've said it happens in the van sometimes, but I was even seeing people weren't really finding parts from the van, so they couldn't just go and grab that part and do it that way. But there is an aftermarket company that offers everything. They offer a flywheel made both to fit to match the 5.3, because it's got to be the right weight balance for that, and then has the right bolt touch for the 480 because it has to match that torque converter. And they provide everything. There is 5.3s with shortened cranks, but you don't have one. That one I saw was from an Avalanche, so it's going to have a normal length crank. But they also, that's part of all that. They provide the spacers, everything, so if just anything happens, if we run into any surprises, they provide all the parts. That's why I went with that flywheel. They will make sure that there's no guesses, there's no surprises. That one will bolt between the two perfectly, and that's the only thing we have to truly change parts-wise. And then I just have to reprogram the computer for a 5.3's displacement and fuel requirements and all that, which is not that hard for me to do. I just need to acquire the right scanner, which I can get a hold of. I used to have one that nice. It died. I just haven't replaced it on my own because I didn't need it at the time. I would require it for this, but I've already got one waiting for me, so that's not a problem either. The new flywheel, it's like 300 and some change. I think something like 375 on eBay, so I'm just adding in tax and all that, just saying 400 even. On the install and reprogram, you already knew my price there. It was normally $2,000. You've been put in a really rough situation, so I'll give you a huge knockoff, even though I'm doing more work since I'm reprogramming the computer to match this new engine. I wouldn't have to do that with the 6.0. So your total would be new flywheel, install, reprogram, total of 1900. So there's your whole details. I'm going to bust apart that 6 and look at it. You can try it. I am going to let you know up front, it would be risky since this had metal run through it. The 5.3, man, that thing looks like a Verify motor. It looks great. It looks like somebody's even cleaned it some. So it looks like in that case, they made sure it ran first, so they made sure they were selling you a good engine. I'm still going to take off the oil pan because I don't want to surprise for any of us like we had last time. I'm still going to say that the oil pan look, but I'm betting I find that thing is perfect. So that one's not going to be a gamble. Whereas that 6.0 could be a gamble. But there's your possibilities. If the H2 motor can be rebuilt. Let me go back up. And I can do that for 640. If you just decide to go with the 5.3, which would be the safer option, or if it turns out that Hummer just really isn't even an option, then there's your prices there. Total of 1900. So just let me know what you want to do from there. There's your whole details.